any situation. Today I'm going to go through content for about the first 35 to 40 minutes, and then we'll open the session for questions. I do want to mention that there is some very good specific advice that is going to be given in terms of number of words, what a good subject line looks like. We will post this to the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce YouTube channel. And also my email address will be in here several times. So feel free to drop me an email, and for further follow-up or questions, be happy to answer them, happy to help you with your email programs or any other marketing programs. So as I'm sure you can imagine, there's a lot of competition in the inbox. Just recently, I saw someone's home screen, and there was about 33,900 emails in there. And people may have other similar experiences. Then the day before, there was about 32,000. So maybe this person was just trying to see how much Gmail they can get. All jokes aside, this just goes to show how much email is sent every day. So there's certainly a lot of competition for the inbox. Back in 2016, it was estimated, in 2016, it was estimated that 205 billion emails were sent on a daily basis, and that number is expected to be at 246 billion by the end of the year. Now we're talking about this today because your email should be able to compete with all this noise that's happening. You want to be able to write emails that provide value to your audience so they actually open them, unlike many people who just seem to ignore them if they aren't of interest. Now this all might seem very intimidating, but a lot of people writing an email can seem like a daunting task. And that's what we're going to cover today, some very specific information on how to make your emails better, how to create subject lines, what subject you should cover, and along down the line. You might not know what to send. You might feel it takes too long to write an email, or you might feel like you're not a good writer. Or maybe you're someone who's been doing email for a while and you're just trying to write your emails in a way that get people to open and take action. You want to write your email in a way that tells a story and builds a connection with your customers or supporters. No matter what you feel when you sit down to write an email, we've got you covered today. That's why we put together this webinar to help you write great emails that actually help your business, so that you can break through that barrier and compete in the inbox. We've got some ideas we're going to share today that will hopefully make the process easier for you. Our agenda today will be, we'll start by talking about the different types of emails you want to think about in your strategy. Then I'm going to share a simple formula for writing any email. And finally, I'll share additional tips for writing emails. My name is Vito Curcuru. I'm the owner of Consult Vito. We're a full-service marketing agency. And if anybody's interested afterwards, I can certainly set up a discovery session with somebody just to talk about your marketing, your business goals. I don't charge for that. It's usually about an hour, sometimes more. And out of that session, my goal is to give you some key things you can do on your own, free of charge, to get you up and running. I believe in providing as much free information as I can for the simple reason there's a lot that small business owners can do. And sometimes it's just a matter of pointing people in the right direction to get the right tools. I'm also the Vice President of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. I'll be president next year, and this is part of our marketing webinar series. I'm also a Constant Contact certified partner, which means if you're interested in Constant Contact and you want to talk more, you can contact me, and I can take you through all the benefits of Constant Contact. We'll get into just a smidge of that today. Today's mostly about just writing the emails. And if you're interested after this seminar, after this webinar on June 17th at 2 p.m., we're going to cover a simple recipe for social media. So a lot of small businesses struggle with social media, and that's why we'll talk about choosing the right social media, the 15-minute social media plan, and getting started in the pay-to-play world. This is a good overview, even if you're advanced in your social media knowledge, because it'll ground you in some principles that you might want to use and refresh some concepts you may have forgotten. Again, June 17th, 2 p.m., feel free to reach out to me at vito@consultvito.com, and I'll get you that information on that link. Okay. So let's get back to the presentation. What should I send? Well, before we dive into the details, let's talk about a few common questions that I get when it comes to writing emails. First, it's what to send. It's important to understand that your email marketing strategy could include a variety of different types of emails and content. At a high level, you'll want to include promotional and informational emails. No one wants to be sold to all the time, and if you're a nonprofit, it's hard for people to be donating all the time. Promotional emails typically have an end date associated with them, and you encourage your readers to take a specific action. The call to action for a promotional email may include registering for an event, redeeming a coupon, or making a purchase or donation. An informational email is less sales driven and more focused on building relationships and providing value to your subscribers. Here your call to action will drive people to your valuable content and may include watching an educational video, downloading an ebook, or viewing a list of product testimonials, or simply reading more about your topic. You can either marry the two types together by providing some helpful or valuable information that entices them to make a purchase. And that brings up another question about how much of each of these types of emails, and this is where I want to introduce everyone back to that 80-20 rule of thumb. You want to provide about 80% helpful or valuable content that helps people know, like, and trust you, and then 20% promotional content. That way, when you do need to ask for a donation or for someone to purchase, they'll be more likely to actually do it. This rule will help as you're planning your email content to ensure you have enough variety. The next big question we always get, how often should I be sending? Well, think about it this way. If someone signs up for daily email tips, how often are they expecting an email? If you sign up to be emailed twice a month, how often are you expecting me to email you? In short, it's really about the expectations you set with your subscribers right when they sign up. Now, there are times that you may deviate from those expectations, but that's often due to special circumstances where you'll let them know they'll receive more information or emails. For example, you might ask them to click a link to find out more on a topic. When they click, they could receive automated emails with more information, encouraging them to take further action. So in a circumstance like this example, they're still controlling the engagement and basically saying yes to other emails. And there isn't a one-size-fits-all rule for how often you should send. But if you're looking for a minimum, we suggest at least once a month. That's enough to at least keep your business top of mind so people don't forget you. And this is a good time to let everyone know that all the information that I'm providing today is from Constant Contact, as you know, is one of the largest email providers. So all of this has been tested and has gone through data. So this is all information that is not only usable, but has been proven to be effective. In one study by Marketing Sherpa, they found that over 60% of customers prefer to receive emails from brands at least weekly. So use your discretion, test it, and even ask your subscribers what they prefer, because you're likely to have a group that doesn't want to be contacted very often and others that do. And that is where segmenting your list and targeting is going to play a role. And we'll talk about segmenting and targeting a little bit later. So answer this question is specific to your business, goals, and the expectations you set with your subscribers. So how often do you send is specific to the business, goals, and the expectations. Now that we've discussed some of the high-level questions, let's talk about the types of emails you should be sending. First, let's talk about automated emails. They're going to be helpful for your business or organization. In most cases, a welcome email that sends right away will be beneficial, and that's an expectation a lot of people have once they sign up for an offer or an email list. You can welcome people to your list and your business. You don't want people to sign up and then not hear from you for weeks, as they may just forget about you. A welcome email is great to fulfill an offer if you entice people to sign up with a free resource or discount. If you want to take the welcome email a step further, you can create a full series of emails that introduces people to your business over a period of time after signing up. For a welcome series, you could simply add a second email where you can ask them to connect with you. That might mean asking them to connect on social media or give you a call to make sure they get set up on the right track. The second type of automated email is the birthday email, which is going to be great to make your audience feel special. You can simply let people know you're paying attention and that you care. Depending on your business, you could also include a coupon or a special offer to use on their birthday. A birthday email can be used for any type of business. The third type of automated emails you can include in your strategy is the anniversary email. Of course, it's great for wedding anniversaries, but it doesn't just have to be for that. If you're a realtor, it could be a home buyer anniversary to celebrate each year in their home. If you're a nonprofit, it could be to celebrate a pet's adoption each year. And because it sends every year on or before each contact's anniversary, it could be used as a membership anniversary or even a renewal reminder if you offer yearly packages. These types of emails are important to help you stay top of mind with your readers without a lot of effort from you. You really can just set it up and get back to focusing on other things for your business. And by the way, of course, birthday and anniversary emails are now available in the email package within Constant Contact, so everyone has access to them. Previously, they were part of a premium package. For now, let's move on to talk about some of the other types of emails you'll want to consider sending. One of the most common types of emails small businesses think about is offers and promotions. Of course, they're pretty straightforward, so you can choose to promote whatever you need. For these types of emails, you're directly asking people to do something that affects your bottom line. You might offer a coupon or discount or promote a product or service you offer, provide a free resource, or ask them to book a consultation. For nonprofits, think about promotions as your fundraising campaigns or asking for volunteers. Just make sure to include any instructions to get the resource or redeem a coupon or offer and include an end date to your promotions. Event emails. A lot of people plan events, a lot of organizations, and this is here's how to have a successful event email. Not only can you promote your event and encourage registrations, but you can send save the date emails to give people a heads up about your event. And then of course you can send reminder emails. You can remind people to register or remind registrants when the event date is close so they don't forget. Event follow-ups are also a great option here as well, and you can use them in a couple of different ways. You can thank your event attendees and send any follow-up information. They can also be used to send to the non-attendees to show them how great your event was and to hopefully encourage them to attend your next event. Depending on the type of event, your content can vary for these types of emails. If you have a list of speakers at your event, you can include their biographies and credentials or any details pertaining to your event. Holidays. You'll also want to use email to celebrate holidays with your audience. Whether you want to celebrate a more formal holiday such as Valentine's Day or have some fun with holidays such as National Donut Day, this type of email content is a great way to engage your readers. Constant Contact, we do have a calendar of campaign ideas for different industries as well as the types of holidays that you want to think about. If you're interested in learning more about that, drop me an email. There's also a lot of national calendars. You can look up what event of the day as well. You can also include some helpful how-to emails in your strategy. These emails are really going to vary based on the type of business or organization you have. Essentially, you want to provide helpful information that helps people get started, maintain, and effectively use your products or services. That means sharing step-by-step instructions on videos, DIY information, checklists and guides, and even tips. Even if you don't feel like your business or organization needs to directly provide how-to information for products, think about some related things. For example, a restaurant could send some how-to information for recipes or even kitchen design or organization tips. Or if you're a nonprofit helping children, you could even send some how-to information like making sure you're spending quality family time with your children or something along those lines. Create a dialogue. Email marketing isn't just a one-way communication channel because you can use it to gain feedback and information. You want to understand your audience, their needs, wants, and experiences with your business. You want to be able to hear from your audience so you can provide more of what they need. One example, you can send an email to recent customers asking for reviews. Excuse me. For this type of email, you can link to your preferred review site. You can also link to a survey or poll in order to understand your audience better. You can use a survey if you want to ask a series of questions, depending on what you're looking to accomplish, or you could potentially ask them about how you can improve your services, gain feedback on your website, or even ask people what their interests are in regards to your email communications. This is the type of information that can help you personalize the experience in order to send targeted email communications. That's something that's going to improve your results. The ideas for creating a dialogue are endless, so use these types of emails in your strategy to prove your trustworthiness, show your email subscribers you really do care, and consider it an invitation to get information from your customers and prospects with regards to your own personal focus group. Focus groups can be very expensive, but conducting polls, getting dialogue back could help you shape some of your business goals and you can understand your targets better. Another type of email you can send is to share behind the scenes information. This is a great way to humanize your business or organization. Show real people working behind the scenes, making a product or helping customers. You might feature employees and their position and mission within your company. If you're a nonprofit, you can feature volunteers or even day-to-day operation of your organization. You can feature behind the scenes of how you provide a service to show your credibility and focus on your clients, or how your product is made to ensure quality. You'll also want to include news in your email communications. You'll want to share updates about things that are happening at your company, whether that's changes in office hours, new menu items, or even changes that you're working towards. Keep people in the know about what's happening at your business specifically, or even get them excited about a change that's coming, such as a new product. Don't forget about industry news as well. This is when you'll be able to share outside information that supports your mission and what your organization is working towards. Also think about sharing local happenings. It's always nice to know that a business you support is involved in the community. Newsletters. Now, typically we recommend putting one topic in your emails, especially if you're trying to drive action. However, your organization may find it valuable to send a newsletter that includes a few different topics. If you're going to go this route, we suggest making sure you're segmenting your audience. For instance, you might have a group of people on your list who would prefer one email a month with multiple topics that you can send to, versus those who don't mind receiving multiple emails every month with one topic per email. Another best practice with a newsletter is to only include 3 topics at most. You really don't want to overwhelm your audience with too much information at once. And that leads to the third tip. You'll want to keep your email short and allow people to click to read more. So only include a few lines of text for each article and include the link so they can then view the full article. One of the great benefits to including the link to the full article is that over time, you'll be able to understand the topics that your audience is interested in, which is going to allow you to send more targeted, relevant information. So after you send those articles and you see where people are clicking, look at the analytics of the email, look at your analytics of your website, and now you can really start to see what kind of content you're driving. Now let's talk about how to easily write your emails. When it comes to writing an email, people always ask, well, how long should it be? Your email, of course, should be as long as it needs to be in order to get someone to take the action you want them to take. But I will tell you that we found 20 lines of text, or about 200 words, result in the highest click-through rate for most industries. But like I said, there's a variety of factors that you'll want to think about. But that 20 lines of text or 200 words, the next time you're building an email, a newsletter, or what have you, take a look at how short that is. Take a look at what you can get inside of that email and realize that's some of the most effective types of emails. Some emails are, of course, going to be longer than others because of the type of email and what you're trying to accomplish. Take these 2 emails, for example. In this particular example, the promotion on the left has less text than the one on the right, where they're sharing educational information along with the video. You want to provide just enough information to keep them interested and get them to take the action that's going to be unique to each campaign. Another example would be if your call to action is bigger and you want someone to RSVP to your event. For some events, your reader is probably going to need more information to make a decision. Location, place, where to park, a map, etc. In that case, your email might be a little longer. So all emails follow the same basic formula. Once you know what your email content's going to be about, you can sit down to write the actual content. Just remember that all emails follow that basic formula: a supporting picture, paragraph, call to action. Once again, the basic formula: supporting picture, paragraph, and a call to action. But I'm going to help you break it down further, the text, to make it even easier to write your email. First, we'll start with for-profit companies. The first set of questions is for any of you who are a for-profit business. The first question is, what are you offering? You want to answer this briefly for it to be your headline. You want to pique your reader's interest and make them want to read more, which leads us into your message body. For this, you want to answer, how will it help the reader? This is where you want to provide details. Remember to keep it short, but provide just enough information to give readers the information they need to be able to take action. The third question is, what should they do next? That's the call to action. So tell them specifically what it is you want them to do. You might want them to make a purchase, schedule a consultation, or even get more information. So those three questions: what are you offering? How will it help the reader? What should they do next? Now on the right, you can see how that translates for this particular business on their family portrait promotion. In the headline, they're talking about the benefit along with the promotion. And then in the message body, they provide details on capturing family moments when the offer expires and the details on when they need to schedule in order to take advantage of the offer. Their button asks people to schedule the portrait session and the links to an online scheduling tool. Let's take a look at some other examples. The same questions were used for different businesses and types of emails. The first example, for the headline, they're answering, what are you offering? We can see they're offering 4 tips to make flowers last longer. Then for how will it help the reader? We can see they provide the tips, then suggest to try one of these tips with their next order. That leads into the call to action to shop now. In the second example, we can see the headline shows the benefit to the reader, which is to boost brand awareness with a free gift. And then in the body, they provide details about how content is king for why the reader should care, and that leads into the free guide for the call to action. We can see something similar with the third example, where the company has done some work with the client's website and providing some next step information. We can see in the body that there are 3 tips that lead into asking the client to log into their dashboard for the call to action. As you can see, these different types of businesses can use those same 3 questions to write different types of content for their emails, whether they're promotional or informational. Let's talk about nonprofits. These questions will be a little bit different. So for your headline, you'll want to answer, what are you trying to accomplish? Then in your message body, you'll want to answer, why should the reader care? This is where you want to elaborate on your cause and what you're trying to solve and provide details that explain why they matter to your reader. Then for the call to action, you'll want to answer, how can the reader get involved? You want to invite them to take part in solving the problem and helping your cause. Your call to action could be, feed a hungry child, give clean water, or even something like, well, whatever your call to action is, donate now and see this change in your community. So what are you trying to accomplish? Why should the reader care? And how can the reader get involved? Those are 3 questions for nonprofits. Often your supporters want to see progress and how they're helping you to make a difference. So you might slightly rephrase these questions to be past tense if you're sharing follow-up information to show what you accomplished. Let's take a look at the example on the right. Here we can see they wanted to get volunteers, and they let people know that in the headline. Then in the body, they let readers know details about the volunteer opportunity and also ask them to fill out a form to sign up as a volunteer on specific dates. Now let's see some other examples in how nonprofits answer the 3 questions with different types of emails. The first is an animal rescue. They answer, what are you trying to accomplish, by using the headline, help us save more animals in need. Pretty straightforward. Then they provide details with the stats to let the reader know why they should care and encourage people to get involved with the call to action to save a pup. Now for the second example. They're following up to share results from last year. So this is a good instance that you want to use past tense version of the question. So they answered with the total pounds of food harvested and from the community garden, and then provided details that the reader's volunteer time helped to accomplish that. They include a call to action to keep people interested on the ways they are preparing for next year. The last one is a donation drive. They're trying to get people to donate, so that's pretty straightforward with the headline, and then providing a list of items that the reader can help with in order to help the children complete their list of community projects. They've also included a link for people to donate to the cause, even if they don't have any of the listed items. As you can see, these same nonprofit questions are helpful no matter what type of email you want to send. So with that formula, writing your emails is fairly easy when you know what you're going to write about. But if you're still stuck, I want to let you know you don't have to write it at all. Let's talk about curated content. Curating content is a great way for you to save time and effort. You can find existing content online and share it with your audience to continue providing value. So you don't have to write it at all. You can find articles and information that relate to your audience or your industry. You can curate content for your email and even on social media. Basically, look for content that can be helpful to your readers and share it with your own audience. Now, there are a few things you want to keep in mind to curate content effectively. We can easily break it down into 3 steps. The first step is to find content that's related to your business and industry. There are thousands of new articles that are published every day. You can stay on top of things with a tool that displays content for different search terms that you choose. A lot of people use Feedly for just such a situation. You can do a search for keywords and save articles to boards so they're easy to access when you need to find content for your next email. If you're a yoga studio, you might search for keywords relating to fitness and nutrition. If you're a business-to-business company who sells industrial equipment to contractors, you can find content related to the construction industry. Think about news on regulations or even building designs. And if you're an animal shelter, you could curate content on pet care and tips on training a new pet. Schedule some time once a week in order to go through the feeds and pick articles that your audience would find interesting. The second step is to offer some perspective when you're sharing it. Don't just copy and paste. This is important because it will make the information you're sharing more personal and provide more value, and it helps you brand your team, your company, and yourself. There are really a few ways you can add your perspective. You can ask questions to help engage potential readers to get them thinking. You can summarize the content, explain the main idea, or share a key takeaway. Or you can even highlight a quote from the article and share why you think it's a good read for your audience. The third step is important because you've got to give credit to the original author. Sharing the content can be a great way to start a relationship with an influencer or someone who can provide value to your audience. Be sure to mention them wherever and whenever you use their content. Simply provide a link to the original post and share the author's name. In Constant Contact, you can easily use the Read More action block to insert the information and give credit for your curated content. Then you can add in another text block to add your perspective, depending on how you choose to do that. So at this point, we've given you a basis for writing your emails and curating content. Let's move to the dreaded subject line. And there's another important piece for getting people to your email. Before people can read your email, they need to open it. Make sense? Sure. The subject line is one of the first things your subscribers will see in the inbox. So you have to be able to entice them to open up the email. Here's the bad news. It takes about 100 milliseconds for you to form an impression of someone. The truth is that your subscribers are formatting impressions of your emails just as quickly. You don't have that much time to capture the reader's attention, so you have to make it count. As much as I would love to be able to give you all winning subject line structure that will work, I can't. It's going to vary based on the audience you're targeting as well as your business and the industry you're in. What I can do today is provide some tips and suggestions on what to consider in order to get it right for your business and the personality of your brand. First and foremost, our recommendation for your subject line is between 4 to 7 words. That's 4 to 7 words on your subject line. Now let's talk about the things you'll want to consider in order to write a good subject line for your business. Creating that subject line. For me personally, I usually write the subject line of the email last before it sends out. This allows me to really look at the content of the email so that I can write a subject line that speaks to what my content is all about. It's a very important rule because you want to make sure you're not writing a subject line that is misleading people just to get them to click and open up the email. Look at your content and think about what you're trying to accomplish with your email. You could potentially pull out a key phrase from the body or even include something relating to your call to action within the subject line. Your email should really focus on the benefit of why the reader should care or how your email can help the reader. Remember, those are the questions that help you write your email's body copy. So make sure your subject line reflects that and shows the benefit to opening the email. So let's take a look at types of subject lines that you might use. One idea, make your readers laugh with a joke or pun. For a landscaping company, an example could be calm down Mother Nature. Another is to try incorporating numbers. Numbers attract attention as our brains are naturally drawn to digits. So try something such as 5 tips for perfectly grilled ribs. Another idea is to be inquisitive and ask your readers a question such as, are your investments working for your business? You'd also try to pull at the heartstrings using an emotional subject line, like take 5 minutes to help animals in need. This is going to be really important for those who are nonprofits. And it's also going to be important for for-profit businesses too. Another option is to create a sense of urgency. An example here is last chance, register by Friday, when they're trying to get people to register for a training. You also want to make your subject line feel personal by using you or your. Plus, you might also consider personalizing your subject line with each contact's name or other contact details to try to catch their attention. One example subject line might look something like, Stephanie, do you love cheese? Any of these ideas that I've just shared can be adjusted to work for any type of business. So try these different types of subject lines over time to see what works best for your audience. Subject preheader. Now it's also important to think about the preheader text that will display right below or after your subject line in the box. The subject line and preheader text should complement each other. A subject line can be short and catchy, whereas your preheader text is your chance to elaborate a bit to give some detail. For your preheader text, you can use a variety of strategies from the subject line tips that we just talked about to craft the perfect subject line and preheader combination to catch your reader's attention. We recommend preheader text should be between 5 to 8 words. And keep in mind, the amount displayed will actually vary based on each device and even each email program. So 5 to 8 words for the preheader text. At this point, you should have some information, let me see here, regarding your email body and subject line. I think we have some questions coming in. We're going to get to all the questions at the end, so please hold on to that one. Sorry about that. Agenda. Let's go back in and move to the next slide. More tips for writing successful emails. The first tip is to get personal, and there are several things that are going to play into this. Probably one of the most common questions or comments I see all the time is how to increase your opens and clicks. First and foremost, you'll want to send targeted, relevant content to your audience because you don't want people to tune out. This also means you should write as if you're writing to one person. Now, for any of you who like to send an e-blast or email blast, I want to encourage all of you to stop using those terms because no matter how big your list is, you want to write to help your audience, and that means writing as if you're writing to one person. The next part is to write as though you're having a personal conversation with someone. Think about that one person you're trying to help. Maybe it's that customer who came in the other day and had a question. This will help your content feel more authentic and resonate with other people. It also means you're going to want to use words like you and your within the email body. Now, we did talk about this as helpful in the subject, but it also does apply to the body as well. Along those same lines, don't be afraid to show your personality. You really don't want to sound like you're a robot. So think about your brand and the personality you want to convey. Some businesses or email marketers have a natural ability to sound witty or even comedic. If you're not, don't try to force it. In the end, you want to show people you're a real person to help your audience on a more personal level. There is another webinar that I'll do about segmenting and targeting, but I do want to say something right now about that. You can have as many lists as you need in your segments for your targets. And for instance, an animal shelter may have a list of people who adopted dogs, or may have a list of people who adopted cats. When they send out an email, it could only be to those, it could be tips on how to take care of your dog and send it only to the dog owners. It could be tips on how to take care of cats only to the cat owners. And then you can split that message because it becomes much more relevant to that individual. If you know they have both, you can send a third email to both cat owners and dog owners. If you have someone who only comes into your restaurant for breakfast and you know that person and they filled out surveys or they're getting your content, you can send out information about breakfast specials to them. So try and keep that segmenting and targeting in mind. It'll really help you get better responses. Another thing I want to suggest is to keep a list of questions that you get from your clients or your customer. These questions become great content for your emails. You'll be able to proactively answer questions for people before they have to take the time and give you a call or look it up. Continually add these questions to your list so you'll always have ideas for content as well. Now we're going to talk about power words. The next time you want to start to use some more strong words, well, we have a list here. There's power words or even more bizarre words in order to catch your audience's attention. Using power words to trigger a psychological emotional response from your email message. They're called power words because they can help you persuade your audience. These words are going to be especially important to think about in your subject line. So try putting them at the beginning so that your email will stand out even more within the inbox. These types of words can be used to keep people reading in the body of your email with the headline of the text. Power words typically fall into a few different categories. Here on the screen, we have 4 different categories, and just note that there are many other categories and power words within those categories. Just think about the emotion or response you're trying to trigger from your audience, and then you can go to Google and search for power words under that category. Along these same lines, look for words that are more unique or bizarre to your audience. These words, especially at the beginning of the subject line, can help your email stand out even more in the inbox. When we're talking about power words, we're not talking about words like free offer and all those kinds of the spam words. I'm sure we're all familiar with those words. So these words are meant to trigger a response. The next tip, always be testing. Now, we can't stress enough how different each of your businesses or organizations are. What may work for one may not work for another. It's all due to the fact that you have different audiences and you have different products, services, or just operate differently. This is where you really want to do some testing to find out what works best for your audience. So let's talk a little bit about A/B testing. There's a variety of ways to go about it and test out different ideas to see what works for your audience. You could test out a variety of things in your email, including writing styles. Simply split your list in 2. Make a copy of your email. Just change one variable at a time so you can understand what has the most impact. So A/B testing, you may have a subject line that says this, you may have another subject line that says that, and then you test those subject lines. Maybe you send it to 25% of your audience, 25% of your audience, and then whichever subject line wins, you send the subject line that won to the other 50% of your audience. So that's an effective way to think about A/B testing, right? You can have, you segment, you got your list, you can click a test list for A, a test list for B, see which subject line or copy or text or picture wins, whichever gets clicked, and then you redo that email for the third group, which is the rest of your list. You can divide it up the percentages however you want. Now, in Constant Contact, you can do A/B testing for feature subject lines, and you can find it on the schedule page if you're in the Email Plus package. Basically, you write 2 different subject lines to determine the percentage of your chosen audience who will receive each subject line, which I just explained you could do manually, but Constant Contact does have a feature that'll do that for you. And then it'll send it to the winning subject line gets sent out. So let's recap. At this point, we've covered a lot of things to help you write your emails. And I want to go ahead at this point and start to wrap it up. But before we do, let's recap a few things. First and foremost, try to include variety with promotional informational emails in your strategy. And when you're not sure what to say, curate content that will still provide value and engagement. Follow the formula for your type of business or organization. Answer those 3 questions in your headline body and on your call to action button. It will save you time and help to make sure that you're providing the necessary information to your audience. So for profit businesses, what are you offering? How will it help the reader? What should they do next? Nonprofit, what are you trying to accomplish? Why should the reader care? And how can the reader get involved? So last thing to remember is to get personal. It starts by sending targeted, relevant information and then writing as if you're writing to one person to make the conversation sound like it was meant for that one person. As far as constant contact services, I do want to wrap up a little bit about what's offered. We know online marketing inside and out. It's built to simplify the complex, confusing tasks of marketing an idea. And as a constant contact partner, I can help you bring it to life. We do have a free trial that we do run for people to get a taste of what it's like to work with constant contact. I can be your guide. I'll refer you in. I have a link to do that if you want to email me. Basically, right now, Constant Contact offers email, it offers websites, it offers logo design, and it helps you run Google, Facebook, or Instagram ads to get more website traffic. These are all new services. You may have only thought of Constant Contact as an email provider, but I can help you work with these tools, features, give you guidance, and kind of get you started if you have any questions. Now, once again, I'm Vito Curcuru. I work at Consult Vito. That's me. And you can sign up for a free trial. I recommend everyone try it. It's a good product. The customer service on Constant Contact is second to none. I've been in digital marketing since the beginning in the 90s, and I can tell you it's incredible to call a helpline to get somebody and for them to actually solve your problem. Oh, I think I spelled email wrong here, but you can email me for more information, vito@consultvito.com. And I do want to mention, again, June 17, 2 p.m., the social media, simple recipe for social media. This will, again, be constant contact content that I'll be presenting. Again, I'm with the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. We do marketing webinars on Wednesday. We have a variety of other services and sponsorships available. We have everything from a women's group to a senior resource group and everything in between. If you're more interested in any other type of topic a chamber can provide, we definitely are there. And you can always call me for some kind of digital marketing consultation, but discovery session. It will be free. We'll talk about your business, try and get you some free tips, some free program software to use. I enjoy speaking with people about their business, and I have no problem letting you know as much as I know on that call or meeting. So do want to get back to, we have some questions. I want to thank everybody on behalf of the chamber. I think we had someone with their hand up. Feel free to start asking questions. Feel free to this will be posted on the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce on their YouTube channel. If you want some particular information or a slide, you can email me. I can break that up and send it to you, or just send you in an email, what the information is. It's a lot of information we cover with very specific actions to take. So I know that it's can be a lot to take in within an hour. So see, does anybody have any questions? Let's see. Well, thank you. Appreciate you guys attending. I think we have someone who's asking about spam. So obviously we want to avoid being called spam. People get upset. They may report you as spam, but Constant Contact does have a process to make sure that you have the best list. And that kind of what it comes down to. Expect some people to unsubscribe. We have another question. My opinion of direct mail. The company I'm working for has brought up using the strategy, but I'm not sure if it will be effective. So I think on direct mail, there is a time and place for it. It's going to depend on the offer and the kind of business. Direct mail has come a long way in terms of targeting. You can get into neighborhoods, you can get into demographics. It's a lot different than it used to be. And I think that you'd have to look at the objective, and if you want to try a sample size in a few zip codes or a few behavioral targeting, I would consider trying it, but there is a cost to it. The difference is, as everyone knows with email, once you subscribe to a provider, you're sending a lot more messages at a lot less rate, and you can test your offers. The direct mail right now, I used to work in direct mail, and it's still viable, but I would try to use a less expensive method in terms of email and messaging, and see where that takes. Now, growing your list, that could, obviously it takes a little bit of time to grow your list. So I'm not against direct mail. There is a cost associated, but you do have a lot of targeting that you can do with it. So someone's commenting, the benefits of Constant Contact. Does it link to private databases that you currently use, or does it have to be its own entity? Yes. So that's a great question. Right now, there's all your email providers, Constant Contact or whoever. You can, depending on your CRM, they might have that integration. And that's obviously very useful. I think going forward, you can export, you can import in. The Constant Contact platform, the segmenting of the lists and all of that is really important to the database that you have on Constant Contact, but it can be integrated into different CRMs. You'd have to look at the list, and I can do that with you, or it's on constantcontact.com, or you can call them directly and ask, I have this CRM, does it integrate? It is a great tool, it's very powerful, and you obviously do want CRM integration, but it also, the benefit to Constant Contact is that kind of customer service. Constant Contact integrates with CRMs and websites and web builders, etc. So the integrations now are very much robust. I would say if you're looking at the CRM and obviously your sales team, or you want to know the actions and behaviors, you may consider, and if it doesn't integrate, to export that data in an Excel sheet, and then so after you do a campaign, you export that data in an Excel sheet, then you import it into your CRM if it doesn't integrate, with the specific fields you can create in your CRM. And that's where you're going to want to be creative with what you're testing and what the offer is. So even if it doesn't integrate, you can keep that kind of database ad hoc by downloading and then uploading it, because what will happen is your CRM can probably take that raw data and import it into its fields. Okay. Let's see. We covered direct mail. Oh, Power Words. Can I go back to the Power Words slide? Oh, of course. And not only will I go back to it, if you want to send me an email, I'll send you the list as well. And you could obviously Google that and or do a screenshot right now. Either way, like I said, I want to get this information to as many people as possible. Regarding spam, you don't want to use words like free in your subject line. That's a big trigger. And there's obviously a list of spam rules out there, but the Can't Spam Act is mostly designed around, getting the information to the people who want it. If you want to avoid spam 100%, make everything you do opt-in. And that's going to be tough, right? Because you don't want to just put people on your list because they had an interaction with you. Because once people have to do a double opt-in, and that's what Constant Contact often recommends, is they have to sign up and say, yes, I want to be on that list. And then suddenly, your list shrinks down, but obviously it becomes much more valuable. So a big way to avoid spam is either have a double opt-in, and to avoid subject lines that are, let's say, things like free or buy one, get one. A lot of those types of things trigger spam filters. And spam filters can be triggered for a variety of reasons. If that person is not used to getting email from you or Constant Contact, then it automatically goes into their spam filter. But there is always that unsubscribe button on the bottom of every Constant Contact email, and most other providers, if not all of them, have it. It's law to have that. So that should also decrease on spam. The other way to decrease spam is to have that really segmented, targeted list. So, and you can have several lists. So think, if you're a restaurant, you could have a breakfast list, lunch list, dinner list, dessert list, anniversary list, because then you're really delivering on email messages to people who want them about the subjects they want them. It's sort of like in the beginning of email, in the history of emails, we all know, it was very difficult to turn down the offer to sign up for something when they're promising coupons, they're promising free items. Who doesn't want discounted stuff? Who doesn't want free items? Who doesn't want this? Who doesn't want that? Those were irresistible offers. And unfortunately, right now, so many irresistible offers have are classified as spam. But if you're having good list hygiene, that cuts down on a lot of spam. The double opt-in, avoid certain subject lines, and just giving people the content they want, it'll help you break through that spam filter. And then if you can't break through the spam filter and people aren't getting it, you may have to pick up the phone and say, I have been sending. And then, because some spam filters are just stronger than others. Okay, I think we have another question in here. Yeah, and again, Constant Contact, I'm pro Constant Contact because I sell it, but I have looked at all the rest. And what's going to stand out is that there's a lot of new products for Constant Contact and that service level. you really are going to pick up the phone and talk with someone, and someone's going to solve that problem. It's a very high level. Instead of using free, what would you prefer using instead? Well, I would say talking about that product benefit and maybe limited time offer or no risk or some of those power words to entice people to open the email. If you're having a free offer, you're probably not going to do that every time. So once a month, if people are getting that cadence of you once a month, that's part of your promotional opportunity, is to put the free in the body. I wouldn't count on people opening up the word free because that word's been overused. There's a lot of skepticism when they see that in a subject line. But consider using those power words or describing that product or describing the value proposition, why they want that. So if you're selling, hairspray, or if you're selling some kind of makeup, clear skin in 30 days, try today, or limited offer or limited availability, clear skin, no obligation, in your pre-header. So you could have clear skin in 30 days, and on the bottom, the pre-header could say something like, no obligation, try today, kind of working around some of those spam words in ways that encourage people to understand about the product. Because remember, people now, when they see the emails, they can see, usually there's a preview on the right or on the bottom, depending on how they set up their inbox. So even if they're not opening it, they're probably skimming and previewing subject line, pre-header, and then seeing what's in there. So free being used in the body is probably still going to be seen, but it may not be seen for people who don't have those previews. And most people have previews. So what we're finding at Constant Contact is if somebody isn't clicking to open, they've probably seen your message, and it's probably coming across. Emails to referral sources, someone that is not subscribed, just a contact. Yeah, emails to referral sources. So if you have, if you've acquired, I'm going to try and address email. What about emails to referral sources? Someone that is not subscribed and just a contact. In your body of your email, or you have a link for someone to sign up to your newsletter, you can send that personally to them, or tell them there's going to be an offer. And this is part of that email automation, and Constant Contact can do this, and others can as well. If they're not a contact yet, and you want them to be a referral, you can either have that person send it on your, forward them the email, or you can simply send them an email from your personal, say, hey, there's value to subscribing to our email, describing that offer, and then having them sign up to your link or having them sign up to your email. So if you're a lot of restaurants, bars, florists, a lot of companies on the bills right now, and a lot of smart companies on their customer contact and their, radar service, they will put their, are you interested in subscribing to our email list? Or they'll put it on the receipt, or interested in subscribing to our email list. There's a box to check, and then there's a place to write their email address. Or you can set up text to sign up, and Constant Contact does that as well, where you can send someone a text message after they check that box, and they can hit the link to subscribe right away. So if you're looking for referrals and to expand your list, I'd say think about that text box. Think about having that opted on paper. Think about asking someone, in your email, one of your informational items, your contact, your call to action box can be, do you know someone who would benefit from this? Forward them this email. And then on that email, also have subscribed to our email list. So, a lot of people will not even realize they have 100 people on the email list. Why not ask them to set forward this email to someone who might find it of value? But on that email, you want to make sure that you have subscribed to this newsletter. So those are a couple of ways to get around, to get more people to sign up. It's the same thing I see a lot of people